Good evening, guys. It's me, Mr. B, in the house. We've got Rebel Meister is back from his holes. Obviously, it wasn't somewhere too hot because he doesn't look too tan to me. And the Monday Juma back in the house, tanned as always. Guys, we've got a few things to talk about. There's been a lot of things bubbling under with the takeover madness. There was a tweet that went out last night and caused all sort of chaos. We've got Mbappe seems to be linked with us for some unknown reason. And we've got Muani, who I know on Monday wants to get his teeth into. So, guys, this is Man United agenda. Let's get the show on the road. Good evening, gentlemen. How are we?
What is the bleeding story?
The story is, where have you been, Rebel? Why did you desert us for 9 days? We go on a pilgrimage or something? Where have you been, man? Talk to people. People ask questions. Even Jeff is asking, Rebel's back, missed you, mate. So talk to us about your adventures.
I'll tell you what, I was being lined up to go on Love Island, but my rotation was blocked at the very end. I'll tell you what, though. It's prime time to talk about the Glaciers. I always said they were a great bunch of lads.
Ah, yeah.
yeah. We can tell by your tweet and your WhatsApp messages, Rebel. God Almighty. So look, we know this is your part of the show. Fill us in. What's been happening, my friend? What went on last night, and what's the situation now?
Well, last night, obviously, we had a meltdown generated on Twitter at around 10:30 when a tweet came out from a Qatari media source saying that it was game over, ball burst, the club was heading to Qatar. That generated all sorts of other newspapers to package it up and put up their own spin on it, and ultimately it led to a kind of, it thought that it's over, Sir Jim is done. This morning, it all got pared back, and there was some misinformation put out there. First of all, Sheikh Jassim's dad has nothing to do with that particular publication. They have rubbished that themselves. He is not a shareholder. The second thing is, this was not new news, they said. All they done was they took the existing media stories that were being done by your English papers, your Irish papers, whatever was covering these stories, and they packaged it up in their own fashion. It was not anything new. However, what is tangible is that there was significant activity on the shares during the night, and that activity has continued into today. My other correspondent, Mr. Kolo, who unfortunately has some internet issues at the moment, was telling me that there was 250,000 transactions in terms of shares. Now, whether that is a particular entity buying up some of those publicly held shares, or whether it is speculators jumping in on trying to get a rise once it does come time to possibly purchase those shares from them, that is unknown at this point. But what is really tangible is that the feeling in the market is that Manchester United is going to be sold, and going to be sold for 100% of the club. If that is the case, we would have thought that ruled out Sir Jim. But ultimately, it is believed that he also has an option where he will look for all of the club, and that he has other funding sources developed in order to do that. Again, this is media speculation. There is no tangible evidence of any of the options that Sir Jim has put on. Everything is subject to a disclosure agreement, so in reality, none of these media people know anything. But the market does not lie.
So, Rebel, in your honest opinion, there's no smoke without fire? Do you feel that something's going on? I mean, somebody put in the chat about if the price goes over $30 or $30 per share, then that it's an indication that the Qataris are buying it up. Do you think, just, I'm not a businessman, so I don't know how these things work. What do you feel the situation is?
Well, for me, there's a lot of hedge funds looking at these publicly traded shares and they're thinking there's an opportunity for a quick buck. A lot of media sources seem to think that next week we will have tangible announcements from Rain Group. Whether or not that is the case, we will have to wait and see. But the levels of activity that are happening in the portion of the shares, those non-voting shares that are held on the New York Stock Exchange, that suggests that something is happening. And it suggests that it's more than likely the Qatari bid, because I think the feeling is that they will be able to buy all of those publicly traded shares, whereas it is likely that Sir Jim may have to leave those sit for the time being and deal with the Glazer shares first if it is him. So they are taking a run at it that it will be Qatar that owns Manchester United Football Club come the start of the season coming, and they are betting against Sir Jim, who, because if Sir Jim does win out the bid, they stand to lose quite a substantial amount of money on their bet on the share price.
Just a few questions here maybe we could answer. HG Gamer was just a statement actually saying, we all know Qatar are going to win it now. He's got a smiley face. Zoe Media House has put out a video today. She's got bad news. I don't know what it is, Zoe. Maybe you can give us a little summary in the chat there. I want to say hi to Robbie Norman, your fellow Irishman. He says, good evening, gents. Good evening to you, Robbie. I hope you're doing well. HG Gamer's doing putting us on a downer here, saying, imagine Glazers don't sell for all summer and we sign nobody.
Now, there is some information coming across from Premier League and UEFA that they are putting pressure on the Glazer family to make a decision, whether it is that they're staying, whether it is that they're taking a minority partner, or whether it is that they're making a full sale. There is massive pressure for them to make that decision because they can't have the club held to shoulder to fortune, and they want things resolved.
Just a couple more here. Zoe Media House saying it could have been the Glazers leaking it to increase the offer. Montreal MUFC. By the way, big up Bill Badger in the chat. It says, I just wish this thing to be over. So Jim should knock down his king on the chessboard already. That means it's done. Checkmate. You're out of here. Hi to MUFC Brummy Reds as well, and to Jeff and FC United Forever. How you doing? She's saying it was all nonsense. Yeah, just over 2 million Class A was purchased, but same happened at several points throughout May.
Absolutely.
Am I on?
That's the non-voting shares on Monday, basically the publicly traded New York Stock Exchange shares and the speculators gambling on a result happening within a particular window of time. And there's also one other significant story that came out that would also have affected that share price. Sir Jim Radcliffe's backup plan, should he fail to gain ownership of Manchester United Football Club, it has been speculated again, is that the money that he has put together for Manchester United Football Club will get ploughed directly into Nice Football Club. So it sounds like the media suggesting that there is a retreat path ironed out for Sir Jim.
Emma is in the house. She's saying, always level-headed, Emma. She's saying Glazers are probably waiting for the last time they can take out dividends from the club. Man United here saying every day we're talking about the takeover. It's getting boring to everyone. Rebel, you're back. That's from Bath Time. Oh my God, he can't believe it. FC United saying Reb's back from Bob Scotland. Can you explain to us what I mean?
Well, you see, what to do down the bog is you go down there and you get some turf and you burn it during the winter to keep your house warm.
Oh God. Real country boys are you guys. The Blazers of the modern day comment says Man United. We've got Zoe saying, because we asked her about the video, she said the video is about apologising to all fans that if Qatar buy United, I can't support the club. Oh wow. Okay, Zoe. Matthew saying I found out today one of his neighbours works for Ineos as well. And Man United, Rob Brummy Red said the day's club is announced that it's going to be sold. It's going to be sold champagne. Will fall from heaven, and we will be all blessed again and have a reborn club. Is that one of your tasty crisps there?
That is one of my tasty
Okay.
crisps.
Well, look,
And
before we go any further, let me just do this for you, Rebel. Um,
okay,
there
you
you
see
go.
this crisp right here? This thing apparently is over 2 million Scoville units. So there's going to be a significant amount of torture when this goes inside me gullet. So I can tell you one thing: it's not happening today. It's
Ah,
not. It's not happening this week. So, but I do want to drum up some hype because Man United agenda needs to benefit from my pain. So we need to start spiking up those likes. We need to start seeing some comments in the shows after chat saying that they want to see Rebel eat this absolutely ridiculous death chip. So when I see enough activity, that's when it's going to happen. I will honour my bet, but I do want to see the United agenda benefiting because I wasn't aware how hot this bloody thing was when I agreed to the bet. Cullum's fucking jellies, pardon me French, were like jelly babies compared to this thing. This thing is death on a stick. So if I'm going to go through some pain, the channel needs to start seeing some activity in those comments. So like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, because if I'm going to do this thing, there's going to need to be some serious comments happening in the chat after the shows.
Rebel, could you just explain why you're doing it? Where did you F up?
Well, you see, I thought this thing was just going to be a standard spicy chip that'd, burn me up a small bit. And I figured, you know what now, seeing as I'd conned poor old Cullum with a couple of the bets that I'd done with him, that I'd allow him back with one. But he pulled the wool over my eyes because this thing is a death chip. Like, I've heard people have had to go to hospital from chest pains because of this thing. This thing should not be allowed outside of whatever death factory it was manufactured in.
But why? What was the forfeit? What did you do to
Well,
get yourself in this situation?
as we know, the cyborg, Mr. Haaland, was not able.
Wait, Rebel. Guys in the chat, when you hear this bet, I just would like to know if anybody else would have taken this bet that Rebel's taken up. So now, sorry, Rebel, now you can go again, my friend.
So, essentially, I'd conned Mr. Cullum into betting that if Brighton did not make top four, he had to eat half a bag of those stupid jellies that he ate. And I hit him up with some other one about Rashford scoring something like 15 goals or something, which he also lost. But anyway, I felt a bit sorry for him. And I said, look, I don't think Rashford's going to win the Golden Boot. But if he's within 10 goals of Haaland at the end of the season, you have to do X, but I'll have to do Y. Unfortunately for us, Rashford's goal scoring form went in the Premier League, and Haaland made sure that he went past the margin that was agreed. So that is why I have to eat this stupid chip. But look, I think we need to get on with the business of the day.
Well, I can't wait for your forfeit to come through. Make sure you tag me or get me on the show because I want to see your face, Rebel. Because really, truly, you've been ribbing me a lot for the last couple of years.
Actually, speaking
no,
of
no,
bets, there's somebody down here who was the bottom place presenter in the fantasy football. So there's a forfeit due.
That's void, Rebel, because I gave up in September when I was top of the league. I didn't.
That was
anymore.
How do we know that? Just out of course, how do we know that you gave up? You didn't notify anybody. You didn't say anything to anybody. All of a sudden, you realize you finished bottom, and suddenly you didn't play anymore. No.
Well, one thing I will say is I'm a fair guy. I'm an honourable guy. I always honour my bets. Last season, I wore an Arsenal shirt and kissed the badge because they came above us, and that's all over Facebook right now. And it's like a trump card against me, and my name and pictures start trending. But I'm prepared to do something, but not doing the hot chips or hot jelly babies or anything like that. But what's hot on the press right now is news coming out today not just about the takeover, but transfer news, and that's what I want to get into. This guy here, now, he rhymes, his surname rhymes with Muani, but it's Muani, as in Icardi, Muani, Kanani. I didn't know about this guy until he started playing for Frankfurt. As you know, Frankfurt done really well last couple of seasons, in Europe especially, and they've got an exciting side. Whatever they're doing it right, because we haven't seen Frankfurt play this well since the 70s. French talent, what do we know? I mean, come on, French are the hub for talent, pool right now. Ex-PSG player as well, I believe. Or I may be wrong on that, but yeah, definitely a French talent coming through, and he's producing. And when I look at him, you say, all right, let's look at his stats. Jimmy Mack, move your comment, please. Kiss an Arsenal shirt. I hope you had I did, sir. So that's this season. 22 games, 15 goals, 14 assists. I believe that says 4 yellow cards and 1 red, with 2 yellows. In the Champions League, 7 games. That's the real test. 2 goals, a couple yellow cards and a red card. German Cup, 6 games, 6 goals. That's nice. And UEFA Super Cup, just played 1 game. The goal ratio is not bad for a striker. I think he offers you something different as well. He's not. He's a quick, nimble, skillful, wiry, strong, rapid kind of striker. I'm still unsure about him. I don't know what people in the comments think. But yeah, I've got one from here from Viking Red. He says Mr. City in the World Cup final. And that is true. He came on and spilled his dinner all over his shirt when he should have buried it and thing. But that was a great save by the Villa keeper. One of the best saves since Gordon Banks, I reckon, at the high profile level of football. So I don't know what you guys think about Muani in the comments. Have you guys studied him? Have you had the time to have a look at him? I like the look of him, but I just what does me is, what is it about him that makes him elite, where big clubs are actually saying this is the boy, this is the guy? Because you can go through different leagues, top leagues, and there's other guys with these sort of stats, as in goal ratio. But is it his mentality? Is it his professionalism?
Assists. Look at his assists of the day. Look at his assists as well. He's had 40 goal involvements in 40. He's had 40 goal involvements in 46 games. So I think he's got an eye for something special. Whether or not he is the guy, I mean, they got him on a free, so they can't be looking to make. All right, they're looking to make the maximum amount of money, but surely it's not going to be more than a 30 or a 40, well, say a 40 million to be fair.
Okay, Rebel, you got any news on this guy? Have you seen him at all?
I'll be honest with you, this isn't one of the guys that I've been keeping track of while I was on my Hollybobs, because he wasn't really linked to us when I left. We had the likes of Sissoko, Hudgeland, Osimhen, Kane. So this guy is kind of new to my radar in terms of us being a tangibly targeting him. So I'll have to do a bit of homework on him. But I do remember that big miss. And I'd worried that we might be getting another striker that wouldn't be getting us that 25 plus goals a season. We saw what the benefit of having a top class striker that finishes his dinner did for Manchester City. And Manchester United either need somebody that can haul like Haaland, or multiple players that will match it over their own contributions.
What, Mr. B, what are we looking for in a player to really sort of stand out? Because the stats are good. Obviously, you said the assists. But is it like inside the game, what fellow pros are saying about him? Obviously, is it because he's playing international football? It seems when they come to prevalence of playing for their country, their price tag seems to go up as well. What is it about this guy? I just don't know. Can I just go through some comments before you think on why you think on that one? He's a French Harry Kane, says Bill Badger. HG Gamer saying that guy isn't him. I'm not moved by him. I'm sorry, talking about someone else. Obviously, Viking Red, welcome back, man. He said Mr. City in the World Cup final. I think it was a greater save than actually missing the sitter. That was a fantastic save. Marcus Thuram would be on a free. That'd be tied to business for a striker. Says Yank talking smack. That's Connor. Welcome back. Muani came ever so close to winning the World Cup final. He certainly did, and then it would be worth 150 million, I'm sure. He's good, but not worth the price tag that Frankfurt placed on him, which is what, Matty, let us know.
What is, yes, please. Yeah, let us know.
We need to know the Bundesliga tax as well. I want to say hi to Classic Rohan, Man United fan. He said, when's the announcement? We go rewind and Rebel will give you an update. Could do with him and Holland Highland. If Kane and Muani aren't the double. Bath time saying here, what's the point in getting the Qataris in if we've got random German strikers? Get Kane and Mbappe. I like that. I want to move on to that as well. Jeff saying here, I've watched him a lot. Good off the ball and a good finisher. His teammate Kamada is available on a free. I think Juve are interested in him. And Yank is saying here, I'm hesitant because of his first season. This is the first season he really broke out. So there you go, guys. Not sure. Just one last one here from Alex. Don't think he's elite. This is the breakout season. His assists is in basically every game. Somehow always gets on the ball in great places and plays the perfect ball. One-on-one shield is great as well. There you go.
Can we remember one thing as well?
Out there, but he's certainly quite hot.
Can we remember one thing as well, lads? When you look at the squad and what we will potentially need this summer, at present, David De Gea has not signed a new contract. Butland has gone to Rangers. We weren't keeping him anyway, but he's gone to Rangers. Heaton is retiring. So we potentially will have 0 senior keepers come the start of pre-season training. So that means we will need a first-choice keeper and a reserve keeper, plus someone to come up in the youth team to be the third-choice keeper. The second thing is, again, due to, unfortunately, Anthony Martial's injury history this year, and the fact that Cristiano Ronaldo was only replaced by a loan signing, we currently have 0 strikers playing the central role. So we will need a starting striker, a backup, and again, either via the youth team or somebody coming in like Rashi covering as third choice for that central striker role. So that's potentially a minimum of 4 players before you even touch central midfield, replacing anybody in defence if we do move people on. So I think we do have to be realistic in terms of targeting these so-called €100 million players, because we will not be getting them unless we move on significant amounts of players like your McTominays, maybe even your Sanchos, in order to bring in the funds to fund these players, because the only place we are player rich is on those wing positions. So that means Alanga and all these guys are up for debate.
So with Costa from Porto, they're throwing out a HD gamer. Mr. B, what do you think about Jordan Pickford? Man United saying we're moving for him.
He's got no arms. Why are we gonna? No. This saves like this. His arms are about this long. No, I'm not having Jordan Pickford. No. I think that's just bluster. To be fair, if he got relegated, I can see us I've linked with him because his price would have gone down. But no chance we've got Jordan Pickford.
Just going back to the striker situation. So, look, Lacazette, we know what he's like. He played in the Premiership for a number of years. He's gone back to Lyon this year. He's second top goal scorer. He's banging goals in the French league. So do we still have to be suspicious of anyone coming from an outside league with great stats like Muani, for example, who scored 15 goals and 14 assists? Is it still because Lacazette's just gone back to the French league and smashed it? Question.
Would you say that would you say that the Bundesliga is a better standard league than Liga?
Maybe overall, I think there's better depth of quality. We've seen in Frankfurt, for example, obviously Dortmund, Leverkusen done well recently. They've got some good teams there and great stadiums, great attendances. It's a good bubbling league. It's a great place for young players to develop their football and tactical awareness as well. So I like the Bundesliga, but I don't think it's at a level of the Premier League. Physicality and just the intensity of the Premier League is just a different beast altogether. But I do like this guy. I just wonder, is he better than Ollie Watkins? Is he better than Tony? Is he better than these other guys? And would he come in? Someone told me the other day that we shouldn't be buying players on investment. We should be buying players who are ready to go and kick off and go straight away. Like I was excusing Sancho, for example, saying that give him a couple more years to develop. It's saying, like we did with Martial. We bought Martial young, thinking he'd get sold to other clubs. And maybe so with this guy, I'm not so sure, to be honest. I know, Rebel, you're nodding your head. Across the pond saying Jonathan David as well. There's so many strikers out there, but none of them are outstanding, in my opinion, apart from Mbappe. And for 150 million, if we do get this sell over the line, I think that could be on. Talk to me.
Can I just point out one thing as well? When we're dealing with strikers, obviously you have to kind of build in the element of risk into any striker that hasn't been a proven goal scorer in the Premier League. And unless you're buying from the top tier of creme de la creme talent, the likes of your Haalands, the likes of your Mbappes, there's always going to be an element of risk because we saw it with Kesman when he came over from the Dutch league, he did nothing in the Premier League. Ruud van Nistelrooy came over from the Dutch league, did bits in the Premier League. So it's always going to be a risk. But Mbappe, what really floated my boat in this one is that there seems to be a tete-a-tete still continuing between Paris Saint-Germain and Real Madrid. Real Madrid are looking for Mbappe to articulate a move and basically cause disruption so that PSG will deal with them. But apparently there's a 50 million euro premium for any club. A 50 million euro discount for any club not named Real Madrid on the purchase of Mbappe. And there was rumours again, and again I state these are very much speculative rumours, that Qatar have been planning for the transfer of Mbappe to Manchester United should Sheikh Jassim be successful since February of this year. So if that is to be believed, it looks like he could be playing Premier League football. But again, and it's been mentioned in the chat multiple times, we will still be limited in terms of what we can use in terms of transfers, and this would take a significant portion of the pre-sale funds that are available, which is believed to be in the region of £200 million.
I like Mbappe, Mr. B. I know you love him. Imagine that, Mr. B. Think about this: Mbappe, Rashford, and Anthony. Or what would it be? I mean, look, you saying about Mbappe.
Okay, can I?
Middle.
Yeah, that was my thing. That was, he quoted saying that he doesn't want to play down the middle. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say to you Rashford is better than Mbappe. I'm not going to sit here and say that to you. But we've already got Rashford on that side. Why would we be going for Mbappe? I'm not going to say I don't want him. I'm not saying that. So guys in the chat, don't get me wrong, but why would we be going for Mbappe when we've got Rashford and Garnacho upcoming, who's going to be the new number 7?
Because, as we're just saying here, we're talking about strikers, and none of them are outstanding. You cannot afford to miss out on a player of Mbappe and worry about, oh, he wants to play on the left, oh, he wants to play on the right. Oh, just pick the guy and sign him. There's a window of opportunity here to maybe get this guy in. We can't mess around. I mean, Haaland's gone to City. He's the other hot boy right now. It used to be Messi and Ronaldo. Now it's Haaland and Mbappe. And we got opportunity to get one of them, as Rebel was saying. Real Madrid have messed up and might miss the boat. He might be coming to the Premier League, and we are one of the only teams that really could afford to manage his wages and bring him in on a transfer fee as well. Manchester United Football Club. Imagine that, Mr. B. Let me put you... Close your eyes, Mr. B. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. It's match day. You're doing a watch along. Okay? Visualize this. Mbappe. And imagine the celebration as he bursts. This is what Mr. B wants. He wants a player who can burst past players. Big
players, I know.
Oh, Mr. B, imagine this, bruv. This is everything you've ever wanted. You would be dribbling, savouring the taste of Mbappe.
I know, I would be done. I would be done. He just play a front two. Just leave them to play. Just play a front two, man, and just have Matt giving them bullets. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, look, I think that's a dream. I really, really do. I mean, he's since come out and said he's not leaving PSG, which means, look, he's going to set himself up. He's just going to go for a free next season, and Real Madrid are going to pay him whatever he wants a week. They will pay, and they will work it out through financial fair play and do whatever jiggery pokery they have to do to get him there. So I think it's a pipe dream. If he, if there's any way he can come, then by all means, we can't do it until we are taken over. But if there's a chance and we are in with a chance, then fine. Do I think it would ever happen? No. But dreams are dreams, and you never know.
Rebel, Mbappe will be a dream signing, says Classic Rowan. And Viking Red saying he'd sell Sancho to bring Mbappe in. So, with a bit of shuffling with the pack, would you really want Mbappe at the club? Think about the shirt sales, think about the exciting football, think about closing the gap, which is everything we want to do. And there's a bit of hesitation on the panel. I don't understand it. Rebel, how do you feel about this?
I just want to mention a singer that died in Ireland today. His name is Christy Dignam. He was the lead singer of a band called Aslan. And he had a song called Crazy World. He says, "How can I protect you in this crazy world?" And this is what Manchester United fans are living in the moment. We're living in that crazy world because Mbappe, a bit like Haaland, is probably a one chance in your lifetime signing. However, even though he's extremely talented, he's that X factor. Manchester United, as a football club, needs to have all its other moving parts secured and ready before we can take a luxury Rolls Royce player like Mbappe and have him do what he does. So for me, that means address the goalkeeper situation, address the rotation then between Varane, Martinez, and the next down. We need to address ultimately those wing backs. Obviously, then we have a situation in our central midfield with depth. Ericsson is not getting any younger. Casemiro, in about 3 seasons' time, is going to be a replacement issue. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes needs someone to give him a credible fight for his position. And then, of course, we have that gaping hole in the central. So, for me, while I think, even though Sancho probably will come good, there's a kind of a case of what we need now. And if we need to find funds, it could be that even though it's not the right decision, we may end up sacrificing a Sancho to get in a key component that we need. And one of those key components is this guy. I saw a report, it's just any other business item, that bookmakers, at least some of them, have suspended betting on Kim Min Jae joining Manchester United Football Club. Bear in mind, he's at a club that is in disarray at the moment. They've lost their manager, and it is believed, according to some reports, that the skeleton of personal terms is out there. The only thing that they are waiting for is there's a release clause that comes into activation in July, and there's absolutely nada Napoli can do about it.
Can I go first, or what? Can I go first, please?
I've gone from Mbappe, like, and it's like, oh, Kim from South Korea. Go on, thanks, Devil.
Look, this is I think this is a really huge signing for us. Man City got Haaland at a bargain price, and it's known that obviously what his buyout was, and they went in there and got it. But I think this is a slightly different deal in that a lot of clubs knew what his buyout was, and United have actually looked like they're going to get something done. Now, I said at the time when we spoke about, I said there was that 2 week window. So regardless, it's probably not a Man United situation in regards to, oh my God, they've set up a deal early. Our hand has been forced. So his stats, second to Wan-Bissaka and one-on-one tackling in Europe. The price, they call him the monster. They call him the monster in Italy. He got in the team of the season, no problem at all. There was no hesitation, there was no question. So if we're going to get him for the price that they took, which is under 45 million euros, then I'm all for it. On Monday, talk to us.
Can I just mention one thing?
Yeah,
Monster Butcher.
No, Rebels, don't mention it until after Monday spoken.
Okay, so the monster at the back,
Coming
that's
in
what you want. You want to have some monsters at the back. People like, I used to call Stam Frankenstein, because like Frankenstein, he was a monster back in the day. So okay, I like the monster theme where you're going with this. But Kim, yeah, I still got my doubts about him. I want to see what the comments are saying. Kim Min Jae, coming or not coming? That's from across the pond. He's not sure yet. Ask the question, and it's almost been answered by Rebel. Kim and the Butcher would be a great pairing, I think, since across the pond. Signed, sealed, delivered, and that's from Flex Felix. He likes the idea of that. Viking Red said, if we get Kim, let's get Song. Sorry, as in from Spurs Song. We don't need Mbappe to Jim. I cannot. I just say I'm really behave myself here, guys. We're talking about Mbappe. We want to talk about being big club again, big signings. This is the best players in the world, and you guys are umming and ahhing. I've heard a comment earlier saying, "Oh, he whinges, he does this and that." The guys, look at his goal record. He's one of the best players in the world right now, and we're talking about, oh no, we want someone who doesn't whinge. I can't believe what I'm hearing. But anyway, we can come back to that because I'm a bit disappointed.
You know, that's I know that's not directed at me. I said I'll take it. Before you say anything else, I said I'll take it.
Oh no, not you. There's someone in the comments. It's just, it seems like it's not like overexcitement about getting Mbappe in, and there's a possibility. There is a possibility. Last quote one for me. Just saying, Kim, big yes from me. For me, it's yeah. If we can get him for 45 million, I like that. But I don't like where Rebel was going. I'm gonna bump heads you here, Rebel. You were saying about, oh, let's cover the goalkeeper situation first. I'm saying no. As soon as Mbappe, the light shine on him and they say there's a possibility, you forget about that and you go straight in for the kill and grab that guy and bring him back to the club, and then you focus on the other stuff first. Don't stall. We stalled for a long time.
So if
in the market.
So I'm just gonna hypothetically, we are 3/4 of the way down the line for a deal to sign, I don't know, our first type midfielder, and we know that our budget probably wouldn't stretch to an Mbappe. You're saying scrap the midfielder and go and get Mbappe at all costs, yeah?
Yeah, because he's up there. He's so elite. He's such a World Cup hat trick, first since 1966. He smashed it. Look at him, what he's doing at Monaco. So at such a young age. I mean, we bought Martial thinking, yeah, we got the best French talent, and they had
I know.
background.
Sitting down, yeah.
You know, we got Mbappe coming through. So I think we have to strike. And with all this news, that's Yank saying here, with Mbappe going to United, he only comes to United if the Sheik's deal comes through and it's successful. Then it's a possibility. And we need to start talking about that positively rather than talking like we're a mid-table club where we have to sort of rotate like Liverpool and financial fair play and all that rubbish. We need to go in for the skill and get this player. But Kim, we talked about him so long. I think for the money, it's good value considering what he's done in Italy this year. I like the idea of that.
Actually,
but yeah, go ahead, Rebel.
Just two bits of breaking news. Let's Talk Football has been on this channel a few times, has linked a article that the relationship between Kylian Mbappe and PSG is completely broken. So that's interesting. And one of the Times sports reporters, via a certain other United channel, has said that Tottenham Hotspur have registered interest in signing Jadon Sancho.
Well, funny enough, we spoke about the Tottenham link to him today, but Villa have now been linked with Sancho as well today within the last couple of hours. So again, we always say there's no smoke without fire. Maybe he is being offered a way out, and the club are seeing that maybe. I think Villa would be a great fit for Sancho working under Unai Emery to be able. Villa got money. You know what I mean? They've got money, so I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say no to that. I'd rather he went Villa than Spurs, to be fair.
Just two things here on the Mbappe thing, because we're going to come back to Sancho. Jeff saying, I love the way Mbappe finishes, but will Man United fans and Erik ten Hag be okay when he walks around and doesn't defend and won't press? If everyone is okay with that, then he's good with that. And also here, Flex Felix is saying, with the debt wiped off, which would be with the sell, we can easily afford Mbappe. Just his wages might cause issues in the dressing room. So there's not much danger there. So last one for Sancho. I'd keep Sancho. Has been looking like a Spurs. So I'd keep him, but Sancho has been looking like a Spurs player ever since he joined us.
Quick last point for you. It was the third last comment that you read. Where is that gone? No, go one. The one before that. Okay, the interesting thing here is we already have Anthony. Now, there's obviously stuff going on in his personal life that we won't be discussing, but one of the key points that was made about Anthony in the Erik ten Hag system at Ajax was he was that player that didn't track back, that didn't do that full court press that Ten Hag likes, but because everybody else did it, including the central striker, Erik ten Hag was happy to let one player away with that. So if we did get an Mbappe in, and he was being designated as that luxury player. Will Anthony change the habits of a lifetime to start pressing? So could that cause an issue with Anthony and not being in the squad at the same time as Mbappe?
Get him in and we'll deal with that afterwards.
I think he'll do it for the team. Anthony did do a lot of hard work. I saw him tracking back a lot last season and pressing. So I think might have got away with that at Ajax, but he's not getting away with that at Man United. And it's been evidence last season he really did put the work in. He's one of the guys that I could say, yeah, at times throughout the season he progressed and got better at tracking back. That's one thing you could rely on him to do. But with Sancho, I know it's a hard one, but he's a make weight, isn't he? We buy him, but he hasn't lost too much value because he's still an impressive player and he's young. And he ticks boxes and he's got English tax as well. So we could sell him if it means sort of balancing the books. I wouldn't like it, but it's a possibility. FC United forever saying this.
I agree.
He would basically need to cover $2 million a week just to level with wages at PSG, becoming the high tax rate for football in the UK. So she's saying it's not going to happen. It's impossible. And sorry, Jeff's saying here, to Rebel's point, will Rashford press? You could have three up front who and don't want to defend or press. That's the issue they had at PSG, didn't they? With Lionel Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe.
Look, there's a lot of yeses, there's a lot of no's, there's a lot of people who have agreed and a lot of people have disagreed, and this is why you like you guys in the comment, to be fair. There's always a couple who go one way, there's always a couple who go another way. We don't seem to agree on much, although we agree on, just lately we haven't been too bad on the panel. But guys, do we have anything else to talk about? Are we done?
There's one more item just to really hit quickly, and that is Anthony Elanga has been linked with RB Leipzig, who currently have the papers for Mr. Sesko.
Au revoir.
I'm 1 day's waiting with him. I'm 1 day's waiting with him. How much do you think we'll get for Elanga? How much do you think we can get for Elanga?
You go first. What do you reckon?
Realistically, probably
I'm going to say...
Yeah, same.
How much? Euros. What's that? Euros, what's that, about 23 million?
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah, I reckon they could get 20. I reckon they could push 20 million pounds. So yeah, that might be to be about right. And if it goes cheaper than that, then they'll probably do it with percentage of the next sale, maybe, if they're gonna sell him for less than the 20 mil. But I think yeah, he needs to go. He's just taking up space. There's going to be a lot of shirt numbers free next season as well, isn't there?
Yeah, man. And especially, look, we need to I know it's difficult, but not everyone can play for Manchester United Football Club. And as much as we might like Elanga, we like his song and all that kind of thing, 30 million there from Bill Badger, I think it is time for him to go. I've seen enough, made my judgment, and I just don't think he's got the qualities to be staying.
Flex Phoenix, 12 million pounds. Do you think Man United will sell? He's a Swedish international. No, I think they'll get more than 12 mil. Jesus. I think they'll get more than 12.
He could do bits and
look, we need to be ruthless. I think the club needs to be ruthless. We always get jacked for players on Monday. Look how much we play for DB players. You know, I think it's about time that club started paying some man. We need to start putting some Man United tax on these players and start recuperating some of our money.
I totally agree. Totally agree. And Pebbles nodding as well. I agree. Elanga, I think, look, Pelestri, don't put blocks on him. I can imagine Pelestri, he might have signed a new contract, and I think a lot of fans do like him. I like him. We can't bring players in to block his progress. We can't stifle this guy. We need to let him have a bit of freedom and get to play as well. Elanga's in the way. Edge out. See you later, mate. Thank you for the contributions. Thank you for that goal away at Atletico Madrid. That's what I'll always remember from Elanga. That goal was like got me off my feet. The fans were going mad. I remember we went to Brentford soon after that, me and Errol, and they were singing the Elanga song. Free from desire, whatever that tune is. That's the Elanga song, isn't it? Something with that.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, yeah. Is that song? Yeah. But Elanga, he had his moment, done really well, and now he can say, look, I'd scored in the Champions League. I've been playing for Man United. That he can sell himself and get a good deal at a good club abroad.
Actually, just quickly on that comment, we used to have We used to have it before with Ferguson. He said if you sign a contract with Manchester United, your value automatically goes up. So let's get that back.
And finally, I just want to say hi to Boom Hazer. He says, I want United.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Yeah. Let's not blow him out. Boom Hazer, I saw you in the comments earlier. Just shout last one from you. Just want to say, I want United tax to go both ways. We always pay more. Ego, our excess players should be sold for more money. So big up to Boom Hauser. And Mr.
Guys, now I can press the button. Guys, we are out.